Hi Rachel, how are you? I hope that you are doing well, that you had a nice holiday season, and that you are ready for your New Year's reading. And as you can see, I zoomed out quite a lot because there are actually 13 cards in this reading. And I would like you to see the full picture if possible. We'll see if I can manage. So, I hope you had a good start to the new year and that you're feeling all those kind of optimistic and hopeful energies that are floating around at this time. And this is one of the reasons why I think it's a good time to do an annual reading at this point in time. So what I would like you to do for now is I would like you to focus on what you would like to achieve by the end of the year. And when you do this, you don't necessarily need to think in realistic terms. So kind of just don't even restrict your mind. Let your mind wander and daydream a little bit, because it's kind of drawing in the kind of positivity that we need for this reading so that you can receive those messages that are really going to help you and inspire you. And right now, I'm just spreading the cards. And we're going to draw one card that is going to represent the background energy and the main theme of 2018. So this is called a significator, and I believe that it's the most important card probably in the entire reading because it affects all the other cards. Okay. And now we are going to place this in the middle and draw 12 cards, and each of those 12 cards are going to represent an astrological house and everything that they stand for, so that specific aspect of your life that they represent. And I'm going to explain to you later on in the reading, but for now, let's just find the first house. And the second house. The third house. The fourth house. The fifth house. the 6th house, the 7th house, the 8th house, the 9th house, the 10th, the 11th, and finally the 12th house. All right. So far, so good. Okay. All right. Okay, that's interesting. So I'm just going to turn all the cards over to see what you will be dealing with, just to get a kind of a general feeling of what the year is going to be like. Well, very interesting. Okay, so first of all, your significator card for the year is Strength. And Strength is a major arcana card. And what you need to know about it is that it represents a kind of strength that comes from within, and it's not a kind of a forceful way of getting something out of life or pushing through. No effort is really involved in this kind of strength. It represents more of a practice, almost like a spiritual practice, where you accept what you have, you recognize what you're dealing with, and you're using it to your advantage. You're utilizing those powers that are at play in your life. And with Strength, we have pretty wild forces at play. In this particular illustration of this card, we see a snake crawling around this woman, but in other decks you might see a lion or a wolf, some kind of a dangerous and usually untamed wild animal. And the message with this card is that there is no such thing, no such force, no such event in your life that you could not tame, that you could not control in a gentle way. So, Strength speaks to, in a way, it speaks to some hard times that are coming your way. And I can see in some of the cards that certain areas of your life are going to be a little bit complicated this year, possibly. But Strength is also an indication that you have all the strength and all the tools at your disposal to be able to deal with these challenges. And yeah, it's kind of like riding a wave, sort of. It's this brutal natural force, this force of in the interpretation of certain decks, it's the animalistic side of the human. So it's the subconscious, it's the violent side, it's the sexual side, it's everything that connects us with the animal kingdom. And in my mind, it also represents all those events and forces in our lives that we cannot directly control unless we learn to work with them. So the first card, the first house, represents you as a person, your identity, who you are. And we have the Three of Cups here. And that's telling me that this year is going to be a year where you're more social, more ready to interact with others. You're not as concerned with yourself and with who you are. You see yourself in the context of a group of other people, of people who surround you. And the Three of Cups also refers to an elevated mood. So if you had or have had self-esteem issues, this is a good card to see, because it takes the focus off of you as an individual, you as a separate person, and it suggests that you are never alone. And even when you're physically alone and you're dealing with something on your own, you're always supported. Now, the next card is for the second house. And the second house represents everything to do with your material resources. So your finances, your personal belongings, anything that you own, and also your values. And here we have the Three of Wands, and the Three of Wands is a look into the future. The Three of Wands is concerned with growth and expansion, and in this context I could imagine that it speaks about your savings, your investments, possibly if you have some, but definitely it's a sign that you will be able to start working towards a more efficient way of managing your money and of building something for the future. Another thing with the Three of Wands is that since it's wands, it's connected with the idea of fire. And fire as an astrological element suggests passion and motivation. And therefore, I can tell you that financially you will be able to find ways to make money off of something that you feel passionate about, and something that involves other people as well, because the Three of Wands also suggests connections, networking. So overall, it's a pretty positive card. And I just keep getting the idea that maybe starting a business, if you don't have one already, could be a good idea at this time. Or if you have one, these cards are really positive and are showing a good time for you with your business. We have the Ace of Swords for the third house, and the third house stands for everything to do with communication, everything, your communication style, the way you manage your business if you have one. And it also stands for people that you deal with on a daily basis, so people that surround you. And the Ace of Swords is about having access to the source of all ideas. The Ace of Swords represents this infinite and enormous well of ideas and inspiration. Swords have to do with the mental level, air, and aces always represent the sort of the essence of the given suit. So with the Ace of Swords, we have the opportunity for you to have at least one, if not more, really life-changing ideas, because especially since it's in the third house, which is ruled by Gemini, and Gemini has everything to do with communication and intellectual development and brainstorming and all that kind of stuff. So this is pretty good. Now, the fourth house represents your home or your family, your closest environment, your intimate environment. And we have the Seven of Swords here. Now, you don't really want to see swords in this position because it's not the most ideal placement for swords to be in the fourth house and to be related to water in any way. This might present some problems to you, and especially on a trust level. The Seven of Swords, I believe it's called uselessness in this deck. And it stands for selfishness, stands for manipulation, and someone who's only looking out for themselves and no one else. So when you get this so close to you, that's really not a good feeling. It's a kind of an icky feeling, and I would recommend that you really double check who you get close to you, who you allow to enter your home in the physical and in the spiritual sense, who you allow to get close to you, to be on an intimate level with you, and also to watch out for those people who are perhaps your friends or your family members who you know that are perhaps not 100% honest all the time. We all have those family members and friends. So watch out that they don't try to pull some trick on you, because that would be very unpleasant. Now, the fifth house represents creativity, sexuality, and your basic motivation, your basic drive in life. And we have the Nine of Swords here. Now, that suggests to me that your creative juices might not be flowing as evenly as you would wish. And there might be some mental restriction on certain things that you just don't allow yourself to do. The Ninth of Swords is all about feeling anxiety and guilt and basically being locked up in our own head. So you really need to be careful how deeply and how much you believe in your thoughts, because they might be leading you astray in the creative and in the creative aspect of life. And I'm, because the fourth and the fifth house can be related to one another when it comes to intimate relationships. I'm getting the sense that you are in danger of really letting someone break your heart if you don't watch out, because these swords they can really represent a kind of mental anguish that we go through when things don't go our way. Now we're at the sixth house, and we have the Page of Wands, and the sixth house stands for everything to do with recurring tasks, routines, everyday, I want to say menial tasks, and also health. So this is everything that kind of those details in life that we might overlook but are really essential to the whole thing working out. And the Page of Wands suggests that on this front there are no huge problems. The only thing you need to watch out for with the Page of Wands is that distractions are all around us, and it's hard to stay focused and participate in a structure, in a well-structured life that you plan for yourself. And the Page of Wands is especially playful. So if you neglect this part of your life and become and you take it too easy, and maybe you decide to overlook it or get distracted, there is some potential for things going wrong. But for the most part, you will be inspired and almost kind of fueled to follow your own plans, your own routine that you set out for yourself. And this could be anything from schedules, from going to the gym or starting a new diet, anything that you want to make a part of your life. The seventh house represents a romantic relationship with your significant other, if you have one, or it can represent what you project into the world, how you present yourself. And we have the Queen of Pentacles here. Now, if you're already in a relationship, this is a good sign, because it creates prosperity and abundance within the relationship and stability. And since it's a queen, it has everything to do with how you experience your own feminine side. And it's a very powerful and very positive reminder that we can do a lot more, and we are capable a lot more than what we think we are capable of. However, if you're single, this can also be a good sign if you consider being self-reliant, independent, and strong on your own a good thing. And I think that is especially important in a relationship. But when you're when you're alone, it's also very significant to have this feeling that you can create things and that you can create affluence in your life and abundance and all the good things that come with it. The 8th house, ruled by Scorpio, is about life and death and our ability to regenerate ourselves, to be reborn, to persevere. And it also has to do with occult powers, so intuition, for example. And here we have the Knight of Wands for you. The Knight of Wands is kind of an interesting card because it's both inspiring and both kind of like a warning. Depends on what your situation was last year. If you feel like last year you were kind of stuck and you couldn't really get ahead and you couldn't make things happen for yourself, this card is a powerful symbol for manifestation. The Knight of Wands represents this youthful, passionate energy that is really, that feels invincible and is kind of reckless. And this is where the warning kind of comes in, because if you feel like you had a lot on your plate last year and that you were that there was just an overload and you were just way too energized and way too many things happening and everything is just way too fast, then the Knight of Wands can be an indication that this is going to cause some problems for you. This is going to be accelerated and it's going to lead to an explosion of some kind, especially health-wise. So I guess it really depends on your situation, what you're looking for. If you're looking for a kind of a shake-up, then it's a good card. Now, the 9th house. The 9th house is all about learning new things, expanding your horizon, adventures, traveling. And we have the 7 of Wands here, which is an amazing card to have in this position. It's really positive because it's kind of representative of a fearless exploration, almost like an urge to really reach for your limits, to really try new things, and to really perhaps even physically travel and make your wildest dreams come true. So yeah, that's a really nice card in this position. So it could mean all kinds of actual travel or new hobbies, new activities that you take up. something along those lines. And you do it with a relentless energy, and you're just driven to try new things, which is, I think it's wonderful. And I think the best card in this reading so far is for the 10th house, which is your career. We have the Magician for you here. And the Magician is all about manifesting and taking things to the next level when it comes to taking charge and being your own person and being and following your own free will. So that's an excellent sign if you're looking for a new job or a new possibilities within your career, or even a new career. I would say this is a wonderful card. And the Magician is basically a reminder that you are the person who's creating your life. You are the leader. You are in charge of what's happening to you. And especially combined with the Strength card, this is giving you incredible power. So if you want to make any kind of change within your career, now is the time to do it. The 11th house stands for, well, I interpret it as your friend, your circle of friends, so, and acquaintances, and also how you fit into society, how you are within your community. And we have another major arcana card here, which is telling me that this is an important aspect of your life right now or throughout this year. Justice is about cause and effect. It's about karma in a way. It speaks to consequences of actions that you probably or possibly done in the past, something that you did in your past, and the results are showing now. So if you have been active trying to make something happen on a social level, now is the time when you're really gonna hear about it and you're really gonna get some good results. And it also speaks to some old connections from your past coming back to you. So if you have some old friends that you haven't heard about for a while, they might be showing up and enrich your life. And finally, our last card for the 12th house is the Page of Pentacles. The 12th house is all about our subconscious mind, everything that we keep sort of behind the curtain, everything that is related to our dreams, our hidden motives, our hidden desires. It's also an important source of intuition and imagination. And since we have the Page of Pentacles here, it's telling me that one of the great assets that you can rely on throughout this year is your imagination and your subconscious. The Page of Pentacles is about learning a new skill. It's about being a student, someone who's learning something practical. And my opinion, this suggests that there's some kind of spiritual practice, whether it be meditation or dream yoga or lucid dreaming or something along those lines, something that connects you with your subconscious mind. If you're already doing something like this, then this is a sign that it's working. And if you're not doing something like this, this is a sign that you should start immediately, because you're going to benefit from it and it's going to bring you some results in the physical world, since pentacles represent the material world. And so you're able to connect with that hidden side of yourself and bring certain things back and put into our material reality and show it to others and use it for your own sake and your own purposes. Now, it seems like a good year for your career, a good year to start new things. You have a lot of momentum, I can tell. It's perhaps not as easy on the personal life front, but nothing that you couldn't get through. The Strength card, a major arcana card, which means that this is an important year in your life. Strength is really an indication that you can make everything happen that you put your mind to. I hope that you enjoyed this reading, Rachel. Thank you for supporting my channel, and I wish you good luck, and I hope to see you in the next video.